same. Keeping busy, preparing for you, and preparing for tonight's debate.
Oh,
Are you?
oh, there's a debate tonight?
Yes, it's the
Thank
final. It's the final like installment of the whole debacle with the presidential debate. So it goes down tonight.
Okay, yes. What time is that at? I'm like terrible at this.
I think in LA it comes on at 5, I believe, but I'm not sure where
Okay.
what the time is. But yeah, it goes down tonight. Speaking of the debate, I have to ask you, have you been involved in this election cycle at all? Have you like paid attention to what's going on? And if so, how has this election cycle like affected the way you view voting and politics in general?
I mean, I'm really not political. I know that
Mm-hmm.
it's a get out and vote, so like I definitely do my part, and I definitely am like we should all vote for sure. I try to just like not oversaturate myself with everything that's going on though, because like I don't want to live in fear or like anger. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to like get where we need to get. So like I don't know if that's a contradiction, but you know, I just like I've watched the debates. I watched the vice presidential debate. I never saw the first one because I didn't even know
Girl,
that
you didn't miss
on
nothing.
New York. Yeah. I heard. I like catch it on YouTube. I went back because we were in New York working. Um, but like I've just been doing my own research because I just don't want to be persuaded by everybody's like thoughts on Instagram and like, you know, like the media. Like I really want to try and do what I think is right for us.
Right.
That's still Biden right now, so a thing, but you know, like I try to
Same.
like, yeah, I try to like, okay, I'm gonna vote and then leave it alone.
Right. No, totally. I just wanted to know because it's been like a different election cycle this time around. I mean, it's we've been inundated with like so much information. Just every day it's something new, something around the clock. So, I mean, it can get overwhelming for sure and confusing. It's like a lot of information to take in, you know?
Sure, for
Um,
sure.
Yes. So we are in the midst of a pandemic. Many people at some point have struggled or are struggling with depression, mental health issues.
Hmm.
You've spoken out before about you had dealt with a little depression early on in your career. How have you managed over the past 7 months to, combat any mental health issues or just protect your sanity in general?
Um, I don't know. Like I just I try to find like routines. Like I'm a very
Mm-hmm.
okay, so well, first like I've struggled with my anxiety the most. Like I
Okay.
had more of like depression in my teenage years and then in the last few years, but like I see a therapist and today's Thursday. I'm going to therapy after this interview actually. And
Shout out to the therapist. I love it.
yes. But we've been talking and in our sessions about my anxiety, which I have noticed got really bad during the pandemic. So it actually turned into like OCD for me. So like I just have to have a routine. It's really weird. So the way that I kind of like combat everything is I started working out, and like when they say
Mhm.
like, work out, it like helps like the endorphins get out and all that stuff. Like it's true because then I started feeling better. Then I'll cook, I'll run some errands, and then I just try to do things that help me not think we're in a pandemic. So like they're different. You know, I used to not ever really go to the park and walk around or sit at the beach because I'm not really a person. But like I started
Right.
doing friends, and then it just was like, okay, cool. Like we're getting out, we're doing things. Um, and then for me, it was a weird thing because it was like I had had such downtime for so long, not
Mhm.
not working. So I felt
Mhm.
right back to where I was, but I was really frustrated because I felt like, okay, I just got out of this funk. I just like got 2 jobs. I'm working now, and then everything just shut down. And I was just like, God, stop playing with me. You know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
but yeah, I just jumped into a routine, and then thank God we were able to go back to New York and finish off the first season of Power. So that,
Yes.
and then being in New York with my castmates was really cool. Like we hang out a lot. So,
I love it. I love that. I felt the same way too. Like in terms of just like like it just shut down, and it's like, how do you channel that energy of just being by yourself, isolated, you know. So thank you for sharing that, because I think so many people are dealing with that, but they don't know how to, you know, communicate that or even talk about it. So thank you for talking about that.
For sure.
Paige, so you're from Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
I'm from Dallas. What
You
part of
are?
Dallas are you from? Yes.
Okay, so I got like the suburb side and the hood side. I got my grandma in Oak Cliffs and then Carrollton.
Oak Cliff.
Yep,
Same.
Oak
Oak
Cliff,
Cliff,
exactly.
and then DeSoto. Yes, yes. I was like, oh, she's a
Yep.
D-town girl. I love it.
World.
Yes, I love it. Do you go home? Did you go back to Dallas often and visit your family?
When I was younger, because we moved when I was 7. So when I was younger, I went every summer back because that's where my dad is. And then now, hi Michael. Michael just joined our live. Now not as much because of work. And I was debating if I should go for Thanksgiving. Do you go back often?
I try to go like 3 times a year. So I'll be going back for Christmas. I went home for my birthday in August, but I try to go like 3 times a year.
Okay. Have you been to the fair? Because I still have never been to the fair.
Never. No, I grew up going to the fair for sure. I used to go to the fair all the time. Yeah.
I need to go.
Oh, you've never been to? You have to go to the fair, Paige.
No, I always miss it. Always.
You have to go next year for sure. You need to put that down to go to
I
the fair.
will.
Yeah. So let's get into it. So you started out doing print modeling, is that right? Okay. And when did you discover, like, when did you go from, okay, I'm going to start modeling to, okay, I think I want to pursue a career in acting?
You know, it's so funny. Every time I get this question, I always blame my mom because I was so young. I didn't make any decisions, no choices. So I did start doing the print modeling and like little runway modeling in Dallas for JCPenney. I was like their little child for every like person you saw in the 90s that had a kid. I was like their kid, well, Black people.
Wow.
So then I started doing like the little runway shows, and it's so funny. I just found like a throwback clip of me doing it. I have to figure out when I want to post it. But then after my parents divorced, we moved back to New York because that's where my mom is from. And then I booked my first national commercial with Kmart, and it was like a Sesame Street, which we also just found on YouTube. Thank you to Latoya's mother, who plays Diana on our show.
I love her.
I know, I love her too. She told me she did one of these interviews.
Yes.
But yeah, her mom actually found it for me on YouTube, and it's a Sesame Street Kmart commercial in 1999, and that was my first job. Yeah, and we then we moved to California, so it was kind of like my mom knew what she was doing. She was sculpting and molding and creating.
I love it. Speaking of mom, the real MVP, moms are the real MVPs. Shout out to mom. What programs did she put you in to like prepare you? Did you go to acting school at all? Or like what type of programs did she put you in to expose you to the acting industry and to help you perfect your craft?
I was in a acting school in Texas. I forget the name of it, but the guy who plays Barney, his name is David Joyner. He was our coach, like the guy who literally did all those years. I know.
Wow.
So I did that in Texas, and then when I moved to California, I worked with coaches like Marty Cooper, Richard Lyons, Diana Castle, Yolanda Davis, and then my latest coach, rest in peace, is Dustin Felder, my favorite of everybody. So yeah, I just kind of went down the line of all these coaches.
Right. And let me ask you this, Paige. Do you recommend, like, if people are watching here, they're wanting to pursue a career in acting, do you recommend they go to an acting coach or an acting school or get some type of training?
Oh, yeah, for sure. When people ask me, like, how do I get into acting? I'm like, are you practicing? Because it's not as easy as people think it is. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, and just for like the basics, you know what I mean? Just to learn, like your inner monologue. And I know those words are that, but it's like what's going on in your head, because they always ask me like the emotion that you guys use, how do you do that? Like, I can't fake that. Like, well, it's not fake. You use in your head, like things that you've been through. You put that person you're talking to at work, You know what I mean? And that's how all that comes. Like, people don't just cry because they cry. They cry because they're thinking about stuff. And this situation kind of reminds them of what they've been through. So I do, class is really important for that. And then just kind of learning the business. That's really important too. Just learning how to conduct yourself and stuff. You know what I mean? Making sure that you're professional wherever you go.
Right. And your first acting role was on Felicity, right? In 2000. Was that your first acting role?
Yeah.
Wow. So 20
I
years
know,
later,
right?
girl, you are still killing it, 2 decades, and you have appeared in countless movies, sitcoms, music videos, and more. Beauty Shop, Cradle to the Grave, Cat in the Hat, Hawaii Five-O. Most notably, we remember and love you as Tasha in Everybody Hates Chris. Was that your first recurring role? Everybody Hates Chris?
Yes. Yes.
And what was it like working with Tisha Campbell, Whoopi Goldberg? Like, what was it like? Was that your first, okay, this is like the real deal? Did you learn a lot from that set?
Yeah, no, it's really cool because that was my first time working with like kids my age. I had always been a kid on set. Like Beauty Shop, I was the only kid. Cradle to the Grave, I was the only kid. So like that was my first time being able to be around like my peers. So I would learn a lot because it's really intimidating going into, it's like going into high school. You know what I mean? So it was great. And I loved Tashina. I loved Tisha. Whoopi was super sweet. I was like, I can't even believe this is my grandma. You know what I'm saying? Like, so to like do those few episodes with her. And then when Tisha came in, I was like, yo, this is crazy. Like the sweetest. We just all got reunited at the Soul Train Awards when I presented last year. And they're the best. But Everybody Hates Chris was so much fun. And I'm so that I was a part of it because people still call me Tasha to this day. And I don't get offended. I like it. I'm like, hey.
See, I love that about you because some people say, don't call me that. That's not my name. But I love it because people, know you and love you from that show.
Right. When people get mad because it's like, it's not like you've ever met me. You know what I mean?
Right.
You've me as this person, so that's your name. And like, I mean, I'm a fan of a lot of shows and their name is like, This Is Us. Like if I see Randall, Kate, or Kevin, that's their name. You know what I mean?
Hey, Randall. Okay. And then most recently, you starred as the bad girl first daughter, Gail Franklin, on The Oval. The Gail character was a far cry from what you're normally used to playing, what we're normally used to seeing you playing, rather. Was it difficult at all tapping into that character?
A little bit, because I had always struggled with characters that are mean or like the mean girl. I always like in the auditions I'd be like, oh my god, I really want to do this, and like I would never get the job. So Gail, I think, was a perfect medium between like what I used to audition for and like who she is. And I was like, oh my god, this would be so fun because nobody's ever seen me like this. And I like truly enjoy when people come up to me and say like, I hate you, I want to whoop you, I want to beat your egg. Like I'm like, yes, I love it. You know what I mean?
That means you're killing it. You're doing your job.
Right. And I just love playing a little nasty teenager who's entitled. It's so fun.
I love it that, Paige, I love it that you're still playing a teenager. Shout out to Mama for the good genes. Girl, you are still playing a teenager. That is bomb. That's shout out to Mama. I have interviewed several actors who've worked with Tyler Perry from the shows. And everybody has spoken highly of that, environment of him and his work ethic. I have to ask you, what has been your experience working on the Oval and working with him and getting a firsthand look, if you will, of how he works behind the scenes? What's been your experience?
It's definitely different than any other production that I've ever worked on. They always Tyler Perry, you could do anything because of how fast we move and how fast we work. 25 episodes in 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
What?
Yeah.
25?
Yeah, 25 episodes, 2 weeks. And granted, Power is 10 episodes in 6 months. So you see how much time, you know what I mean? Like we're going. And so I was really nervous at first because people made it seem like it was going to be psycho. And don't get me wrong, it's crazy. Like, you're moving like this. But it's super, like, cool. And I actually really enjoyed it. So I was really excited to go back for season 2, just to be in that quickness of, like, this is how we do it. And I don't know. It's just dope. And my castmates are dope. And I'm excited for you guys to see season 2.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. My next question. So you broke the news for us. So you will be a part of season 2. So when can we expect to see you back on the screens as Gail Franklin?
You know, I don't know. They haven't given us a date. I just keep making my head because I want to. I'm like, January, but I don't know. I have no idea. Don't listen to me. But I definitely know. I feel like it's going to be at the top of 2021 because I know Sisters is on right now.
Right.
So, yeah, and yes, I will definitely be a part of season 2.
Well, we're excited. The people are commenting. That was in my notes, but the people were like, okay, she's coming back for season 2. So there you have it. You're coming back for season 2. Yay.
Yeah.
And now on to look, I'm a Power fan, right? So when I, found out that they were going to do the spinoffs, I was like, okay, it'll be interesting to see. So, I mean, it's Power Book 2 Ghost is my latest obsession. I mean, I thought I was a Power fan, but now I'm a Power Book 2 fan. Paige, I have lots of questions to ask you, but first I want to start off by asking, did you watch Power before you got this role?
What? Team Tommy. Power was my show every Sunday. We knew what it was. We had watch parties. Like, this job will always hold such a special place in my heart, not because of how big it is in the franchise and its power, because that too, but the fact that it's like, and this was during a season where I wasn't working. I wasn't getting anything. I was like sitting there and I'm just watching this show and I love this show. This is my thing. And then this comes along and you're just like, it's just crazy. It's surreal. So yes, huge Power fan.
Okay, so I'm going to get into like what I love to talk about, for shows that I love and just in general. I have to know, okay, so you had just wrapped season 1 of The Oval, right? And then this opportunity comes about. Paige, break it down for us. How did you land the role as Lauren Baldwin on Power Book 2, the spinoff? How did you land this role? Talk to us about your audition process. Break it down for us.
Okay, so I'm gonna give you like the TT. Like, all my interviews, giving them the real tea, but I'm gonna give you the tea.
You my girl. You my girl.
Wait, you froze.
Okay. Am I still froze?
No, you're good.
Okay.
Okay, you can hear me?
Yeah. Yes.
Gotta love live. Okay, so the tea. So yeah, I just finished The Oval. I was getting ready for well, I was gonna say like another project, but it wasn't a project, but I was getting ready to go to Tyler Perry's grand opening. So like for me, it was a project, like getting all the outfits and stuff, blah blah blah, right? So super busy doing that. I saw the breakdown come out, and crazy enough, like me and Quincy came to me and was like, yeah, I got an audition. And I was like, oh, you're so lucky. Like, and he was like, yeah, I got a call back. And I was like, oh, you're so lucky. Like, I want to audition. And casting actually had told my team, like, she's not right for the role. Like, she doesn't need to audition. And I was sick. I was like, oh my God, like, this is power. I wish there was a role for me, right? And I'm not knowing anything because I'm not seeing it for myself. So I was just like, well, if they say there's no role for me, there's no role for me. So I'm getting ready for the grand opening. Then like 2 days before we leave, they're like, she can put herself on tape and just send it in. So I like scramble, try to like memorize it, put it on tape, send it in. And I walked out of the little self-tape place and I was like, oh my God, that was horrible. I was like, that was horrible. Like, you really blew it, Paige. Great job. Right? So I'm driving and I'm irritated, but I'm like, all right, whatever. We got to focus on other things. So getting ready to go to Atlanta. We fly out to Atlanta, and as we're flying out to Atlanta, we forget all our clothes. The stylist is in the car, So all my clothes for the event left in California.
Oh my God.
Scrambling. Quincy ends up helping us because him and Puff were coming out. So they pick it up for me and they bring it. But like, that's on my mind, right? So the whole time, like, what are we even flying to Atlanta for if we don't have our outfits? And the event's in 2 days. So we land and my mom just starts answering like all her phone calls, her emails. And we're in the car and she's talking on the phone and she just starts like freaking out in the back seat. And mind you, we're like in an Uber, it's small. I'm like, can you, it's late. What is your problem? And she just like looks at me and she just like is like, you got it. And I was like, I got what? And then she just goes, power. And I was like, what? I was like, don't play. Like, that's not funny, right? Like, do not do this. And so she was like, they just offered you the job. Like, power is your, we can work everything out, blah, blah, blah. And it was, like, I couldn't even sleep. It was just so exciting and so surreal. I couldn't even believe it. People still ask me about it, and I'm like, it still hasn't really hit me yet. So it's really weird.
Wow. And so then you still go to the grand opening and you're on the carpet and you're getting asked all these questions. Are you able to talk about it at all? Like, no press or anything?
Because we don't even, at this point, I got the job, but I still have to consult with Tyler Perry and the studios if any of this will work. When are they going to start shooting? Like, we had to figure all that out. And this was we got the call late Thursday night. So weekend, it was like I had to be tight-lipped about it. And then you're excited, but you don't want to tell somebody because if it doesn't stick, then I've been there where I'm like, oh my God, I think I got the job. I didn't get the job, and then I'm stupid. Like, kidding, I didn't get the job. So I could about it for honestly, even after that, because that was a Thursday, maybe for like a week and a half, we hadn't like figured out everything. And so I had to be quiet about that for a long time. And then I went right into filming right after that and still about it. So it was just it was the hardest secret to keep ever.
And I can't see anybody else playing Lauren. And speaking of Miss Lauren, what is going on with you and Tariq and your boyfriend? Are you in like a love triangle or something? What's going on, girl? At the house? I was at the dinner with the parents and the teachers. I was like, now wait a minute. What's happening? What's going on?
I don't think she's in a love triangle yet, but I think she's confused. I think that she had her way of living, as you can see how her boyfriend is. And you know, she was fine with that, and then little Tariq came, and then it was just like, ooh, because everybody loves a bad boy. The bad boys always ruin your life. So
been there, done that. Yes, got the t-shirt. We met your parents. I forget what episode that was, but we met your parents. We, got to meet your boyfriend. Will we go deeper into Lauren's like life, like backstory of Lauren, and like, deeper into the parents and like, your family situation? Will we go deeper into that?
Not necessarily this season.
Okay.
I think that, you see her parents again and you could kind of understand the dynamic. But you, not this season. And Melanie just joined our live. Hey, Mel, that's Professor.
Hi, Melanie. I love it. I love it. So I have to ask, new episodes are back in December, right? Yeah. Where are we? Can you give us a tease as to where we're picking up? I mean, a lot happened before the break. Right. So are you able to give us any tease without getting into trouble? I don't want you to get into trouble now.
I'm the worst. So I always get into trouble. I got a big mouth because I don't know how to keep. But I could say, let me see. Because a lot did happen in 105. I just think people think they know where the story is going, but it's power, so you just never know. I think they set it up perfectly for how it ended. Everybody's like, okay, cool. Like, he disses Diana at the party, so everybody is now like, okay, it's Lauren and Tariq, like, surprised at whatever happened. So I ain't saying no more because I'm scared.
Don't say anymore. Paige, do you understand like the weight of your representation on screen and how you represent the Puerto Rican community, the African American community? Do you understand like the weight of, what you represent to people who watch you, little girls who watch you, women who watch you on screen who want to follow in your footsteps?
No. No, it shocks me every time somebody like says something super nice to me. I'm like, or like I'm still like I'll be out and somebody will be looking at me and I'm like, what are they looking at? And then my family's like,
You.
right? I'm like, oh yeah, sorry, okay. Like you know what I mean? Or somebody will be like, oh my God, like you inspired me. I'm like, me? I'm like, I ask people all the time, I go, do you know my name? Like just to make sure they're talking to the right person and they're like, yeah, it's Paige. I'm like, cool. Like you know what I mean? I'm still I know, and I think I'll always be that way because it hasn't changed from since I was a kid to now. It just blows my mind because I'm just normal, like chill. So
I love it. That's that D-town in you, girl. Just keep it chill. Don't get caught up in the hype. I love it.
exactly.
Paige, I have to ask. So, with the success of Power, right? People love that show. People have followed that show. Were you at all nervous about the spinoff and the response from fans, if people would love it or if they would hate it? Did you worry about that at all, or you were like, I don't care, I got this job, so hey, it is what it is.
I definitely was worried, not in a sense of like, oh, if people hate it, what will happen? Because people talked about the Oval bad, but there was also people who loved the Oval at the same time. So my concern was me being a Power fan. I heard about a spinoff too. I was like, no. And then I was like everybody else. I'm like, without Ghost, I don't even know how I can do this. Like, gonna happen. Um, but then like yeah, you're filming it and you're just like, dang, I really wonder if people will like it. So excuse me.
Bless you.
So yeah, thank you. But
Yes.
yeah, I'm a little nervous.
You were a little nervous. And what do you think are the biggest difference? I asked Latoya this too. What do you think the biggest differences are in the two franchises, Power and then Power Book 2?
Two biggest. I think what's dope about our spinoff is you get to see this in like a younger world. I think Power was dope because you got to see like the adult side of it, and now you get to see what happens like when kids grow up in that type of world and how Tariq was around this and how he saw everything and that. And then I heard somebody at our work said like it's really real life. We understand that people are upset that Ghost is dead, but in the real world when
Right.
somebody gets killed, the business still goes on. Like it doesn't stop just because somebody died. And we saw that all throughout Power. It just was never like our OG or whatever you want to call him. I don't know. I'm not in the drug. But you know what I mean? Like, that person when he died. So I think it's dope that you get to see like a youthful aspect of it. So
And do we have a date for when it's set to return in December?
I wish. I don't
Oh,
know. I'm praying it's like the first or second week.
okay. Michael, are you still here? Can you give us something? Somebody, we need to know.
Right.
Okay, we'll just
Call the line, call a friend, and be like, Michael, we need you.
yeah. What's going on? Okay, so first week or second week in December, we'll be watching you for sure.
Thank you.
With all of your success, 20 years in the game, you're OG yourself. You are an OG.
Thank you.
What yes, what advice would you share with the viewers on following and executing their dreams?
Um. Okay. So I will start with the hard stuff, which
Yes.
is like those times, those trials, the hard stuff. It's very important that you continue. I just read something about like discipline and talent and or excuse me, discipline and motivation, and they were saying, with discipline, it'll always get done because you're disciplined to do it. So you have to be disciplined to just keep going, even though you keep hearing no, 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 no.
Right.
And that I think will take you where you go in life because it'll happen. And then also too, aligning your will with God's will, because sometimes what we want is not what's meant for us. And
Preach, you know.
yeah, and it sucks and it's hard to listen to, and sometimes you don't want to hear that, but that's true. Like you can really work so hard to get what you think you want, but God's trying to take you a whole different direction, which is better. But we're so stuck on what we feel like we want because we think that that's better. I would just say, whatever your faith is, mine is Jesus Christ. As for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. So
Amen, sister.
that reading, the staying focused. Shout out to my godmom who's in the chat. She's one of my mentors of keeping me on track with the Lord. So is my mother. But like that's very important. So whatever your practice is, practice it.
Right.
And
I
then
love that.
read.
I love that. Thank you for being open about the Lord.
You're
Look,
welcome. Hallelujah.
amen. And I have to ask you, so you, speaking of family, your mom and the whole shebang, DMX is your godfather?
Yeah, and that's my godmom who's in the in the live. That's his ex-wife. Yep.
What did you think of his verses? I had to ask. What did you think?
As a fan or as a goddaughter?
As a fan.
Okay, because as a goddaughter, I was about to really go in.
Okay, as a goddaughter. Come on, as a goddaughter. As a goddaughter.
I was like, oh my dad, Lord Jesus, he doesn't stop screaming, poor little Buddha. But we're so proud and we're so happy that he has his little weight on him. But I was just cracking up. It's funny because we had just spoke before the verses started, and like, where are you at? Come with me, because it was at Snoop Dogg's place in LA. But I couldn't because we were in the middle of COVID testing like crazy to go back to work, and I was like, imagine me going to watch this verses that I can watch on Instagram and getting
right. Stay your butt at home.
Him asking. That was horrible. But like, you know what I mean? But I was really proud and I was really happy to see how the world took it. But I was also just watching the comments crazy because like I'm really protective over my family. For somebody to say something, but it was really good and I enjoyed it. And I enjoyed watching Snoop too. You know, I used to grow up with his kids, so it was just dope. It was like a little family reunion.
I loved it, girl. That was one of my favorites. Like, I was like, okay, I was up. I was like, okay, yes, it was good. I had to ask. I was like, that's super cool. DMX is your godfather. What advice has he given you about the game, about the industry, about guys? What has he told you?
Okay, first of all, there is no men. Like, I'm not allowed to even mention it. He doesn't play that. There's no such thing as advice with men. It's just don't do it.
Don't.
Any guy that comes with me to hang out with him, he really could be like my friend. If you're not my blood brother, like he's on your head. Like he's not having it at all. Then, you know, like I just listen to him when he talks to other people and it's mostly me giving him the advice. So like we talk and we're almost like two little best friends that sit around and we just hang out. But, you know, he too has also helped me with, you know, staying in the spirit and staying God-fearing while also being in business. And then just, you know, understanding that we could be flawed because we're human. We're not Jesus, but we want to be as much like we want to be. Yeah, exactly that. It's out, but yes, that.
I love it. I love it. Okay, Paige, this has been fun, but before you go, we have to do my little rapid fire. Ashley's 5 and 5. So it's 5 questions, 5 minutes, or 5 seconds. Whichever. Okay. It doesn't matter how long it takes to answer. So, single or dating? Are you single or are you dating? Because people have been speculating, girl.
Have they? What did they think?
They're thinking it may be a co-worker.
Oh, they think I'm dating Michael?
That's the speculation. Single or dating?
I'm single, very, very single.
Okay, single. She's single, fellas, but Godfather says no men, so
right.
I don't know.
But he doesn't.
No. One thing you still have from your childhood?
I have this little Pocahontas nightgown that used to like drag on the floor when I walked, and now it's like a little t-shirt, so I just wear it.
Oh my goodness.
The fact that I can fit that, don't even understand. But yeah, I have that.
Tariq or Ghost?
Tommy.
Oh, okay. I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that. 3 words to describe yourself.
3 words. Ooh, let's see. Sensitive. Funny. And straightforward.
I love it. Your idea of a best first date?
Everybody's been asking me this. I don't know. I haven't dated in so long. I don't even know. How about just my idea of a best first date would just be like,
Who been asking? A guy? Some guys been asking or what?
Oh. No.
Okay.
I think Okay, so my guy friends and guy family tell me that people are intimidated, but I think that's an excuse. But I don't really know what the date would be, but ideal first date and like first meeting would just be like keeping your word, like say something, then put an action behind it. Let's not
Right.
let's not like do the whole like I'm gonna flirt with you and then disappear. Like you know what I mean? Like those types of things, just being consistent. So consistency, if there's that, then I'm pretty sure whatever we do on the date will be fun.
Okay, I think Woody said something in the comments, and then I have one more, and then somebody else said Chick-fil-A for a first date. No Chick-fil-A.
What did Woody say?
He said something because they're saying shoot your shot or like go get at her or something. But here's my
Ooh.
last one. I'm doing 6. I know it's 5 and 5, but I'm doing one more.
Do
How do
10.
you start? How do you start your day, Paige? How do you start your day?
I open my eyes. I read the Bible at first so that I can put my verse of the day on my story. So I read that. Most times, like if I wake up early before my day gets started, I read my Bible first. If not, then I get around to it. But like I can give you my day today because they're always different. But today I woke up, I had an audition, so I had to get ready for that. Then after the audition, I had an interview. Then after that, I read the Bible. I cleaned up. Then now I'm doing
Sure.
this. Yeah, then after I do this, I got to go pick up my car from the shop because it's getting fixed. Then I go to therapy at 4.
Yeah.
And then,
Look.
and then meet with my little brother, and we're going to go have some dinner because I haven't seen him since I've been back. And then I'm going to come back and then get ready to do it all over again tomorrow.
Okay, fellas, y'all better get this woman of God. This is this is a busy woman of God, and I love it. Paige, I love you. I love it. I'm so excited for you. I can't wait to watch you again in the Oval. I can't wait to watch you in December back on Power. Can't wait. Keep us posted on everything you have going on. Let me know who's sliding in your DM too. I need to know. Big sister here.
I would tell you honestly. Okay, I'll give you a piece. Are you on live or just by yourself? Look, I was tell everybody my business. I would say on live or like you want me to tell you by yourself?
Tell me by myself because
Oh,
you know people in the business. No.
Little boys right now, the little rapper boys, all those like they just have to know because it's a no. It's a no.
Don't do it. No rapper boys.
Like I'm
drinking. You gotta be God fearing.
Yes, and I was just about to say they're just so into like it's a difference between like being aware of mental health and depression and stuff, but just like speaking it on your life is just no way. Like there's power in the tongue, and I just think God bless half of these little kids out here in this generation who are just and they're so much younger than me. I know I look their age, but gosh, like people who are just turning like 20, 21, they're all that age. So I think it's cool and this generation, you know what I mean, to like just sip the lean and talk about how we're depressed, blah blah blah. And I'm like, oh my God, please get out of my DM. It can't happen. So and then
you have to come correct.
And they're like laying in bed with like guns and stuff. I'm like, yeah, you think I'm coming over to your house? And that's what, no.
No, they don't be sending pictures like that, Paige. Oh my God. What?
No, I'm saying that's on their page.
Like, oh, I was about to say, wait a minute. Yeah, no.
No, yeah.
We don't have time for it. We don't have time for it. We don't. We're looking for somebody who's going to pray for us and pray with us, right?
Okay, watch some movies and chill out and want to go to therapy, not just talk about it.
Not be like, okay, I'll see you when you get back. They're involved, right?
Right.
I love it. Paige, let's talk about this offline some more too. Go to have a good time at therapy today. Have a good time at dinner tonight. I'm so proud of you. You're killing it. You represent us so well. You represent D-Town. I know they're proud back home. So shout out to you and your family, and I love you. Can't wait to see what you do next.
I love you too. Thank you guys so much. And then I feel like I should go live later so I can answer some more questions.
What are they saying? What are they saying, Paige?
I don't know, because I've been paying attention to you and listening, but I see them just going, but I just like
they're trying to get at you. That's what I saw. I saw Woody. I saw Hearts. They're talking about you being their wives.
No, Woody's the worst because Woody always eggs it on. Like we all were at dinner the other day and this guy came over to our table and sat down in front of it was me, Woody, Toya, and our friends. And they get up, we take pictures. God forgive me if I'm putting everybody on blast. Like Toya, I don't know if they want me to tell the story, but sorry. We're sitting down, we're at dinner, and somebody comes over, we take pictures, and then the guy's like, I want to take a picture with y'all. So he sits in the booth and he sits next to me, and Woody's standing up and Toya's sitting next to me. And the guy literally just turns and he just goes, you know, I would love to take you out. Like, I would love to just take you on a drink, like in front of the whole table. And I'm sitting there, right? And I'm like, thank you. Like,
did he have a mask on?
No.
Boy, bye.
Exactly. So I'm sitting there, right? And he keeps going, and it's so awkward. Nobody says anything to help me out, right? So finally, I have to be the bad guy, and I go, I think Woody wants to sit back down. And
why didn't Woody speak up?
He said something, but it was really quiet, and I was just like, so after he left, I was like, you guys really just played me like that? Like, and they thought it was so funny. And I was just like, it was so uncomfortable for me because he kept saying, and I think he was intoxicated, which helped the situation. Right. I don't think he's going to remember it. And so then I feel like I didn't embarrass him, but he just kept going. And it was literally, I kid you not, for like 3 minutes. And it's awkward. And I'm just sitting there like smiling, like, and my smile keeps getting bigger and bigger. Yes. And I'm so embarrassed. And
did he post a picture?
I don't know if they posted it. I never saw
a tag with you on it or anything.
I didn't even see, but it was really crazy, and I was just like, thank you. Because like, let's say even if I wanted to grab his number, it just wasn't the time and place for me to like just in front of everybody like, okay, cool, let's exchange it. Everybody's just watching us. Like, that's weird.
Right. It's a time and place for everything. See? Don't do that either, fellas. Don't do that either.
Please don't.
So, Paige, how do you want a guy to step to you? Like, how should a guy approach you? Since we're talking about it, I mean, I have to ask. I know we've gone over time, but.
No, it's fine. I don't have to.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know. Like, I was asked this in an interview, and I was like, you know, as far as like a DM goes, I obviously need to be able to have a conversation. I don't want to just answer a bunch of DMs saying thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Right.
So like that. And then I don't know, like, but you know what? I think there's ways to do it to make somebody comfortable, and there's ways to do it to make people uncomfortable. Like, if I'm out and you ask me for my number and I clearly don't know you, like, really, what do you think the answer is gonna be?
Right.
You could be as beautiful as you want. I don't like all that, but I just don't know. I don't know. So honestly, I don't know. You tell me.
I'm married, but
oh, you are. Lucky you.
No, but still, I'm 37, so I dated. You know, I dated before. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I don't know anymore now, Paige. I don't know. That's a good question.
Exactly. It's a great question. And I tell people like I really haven't dated in so long. And like I'm a long-term relationship type girl. So like the last time I dated was with a boyfriend that I had for like a long time. So I don't even have any idea how this dating works. I see my friends go through it. And if it's anything of what they're going through, I don't want it. So but
would you do the online dating thing? My friend is doing that, and she like sends me like her list of guys, and it's like, okay, would you ever do like the apps, like the
I tried Raya, which was like a dating app for like the entertainment.
Oh, you didn't like
it? I was the weirdest people, and I was like, no. And honestly, like, my black kings are going to be mad at me, but it was like mostly white guys. So I was like matching with a lot of white guys.
Somebody said that. They said, oh, she's going to be with the white guy. Somebody said that in the comments.
A lot of people who know me are like, I can see you marrying a white man. And I'm like, and it's so crazy because like I always had crushes on white guys, but like I always dated black men. It was like this weird thing of like, I'll take either one. I don't really care.
Right. It's just a matter of how they treat you and how you feel. And if you like them, you enjoy them.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter what color they are, right?
Hey, exactly.
That's exact, girl. You need to do a live. You need to do a book on this, on dating.
Why? I have no answers. I feel like I've just taking you guys all in circles. My bad, but I have no.
Would you go with the referral? Like if anybody ever said, hey, I have somebody I want you to meet. Is it better that way because the other person knows them, so it's not a complete stranger and it's a setup, or do you not like that?
Yeah, like I'll let my friends hook me up with somebody and we'll see how it goes. And then I do want to address, since we're on live, and I get this a lot, like, you know, people are always telling me, like, you know, when I get famous, or, you know, you only talk to famous guys, do you date normal guys? And I've dated a lot of guys who are not in the business. Not a lot, but like, first of all, Paige, calm down. That wasn't like a lot first, but I'm saying like most of my boyfriends were in the industry. I've had like few in the industry. And it was dope, but it, like, you know, I have to know you and I have to meet you, because at the same time, no matter who I date, whether you are in the business or not, you have to have something to lose too. Like, right. I not like these new relationships where when you break up, everything's blasted online and there's screenshots and they're this, like,
the unfollow and all of that.
Yeah, like, just we'll unfollow each other, we'll keep it pushing, but we will respect each other and we will not tell business. Like, I got people I could spill dirt on, okay? I could really go in. I might, yep, I'm sorry. But I would never, because it's just the respect that you just have for somebody. Right. Did it to me, like, I'm still not going to retaliate and be like, well, that's why, like, because you got to just let things die out. And I feel like people want so much attention these days that they'll just do anything and say anything. And to me, that's, like, not somebody I would ever want to date.
And you don't need men. Like, men shouldn't be after attention like that anyway. Like, what do you want that much attention for? Paige, what's a deal breaker for you? Like, if you meet a guy and you know, connect with him and you guys are dating, let's say you guys have been on maybe 3 or 4 dates. What's a deal breaker, you know, within those 3 or 4 dates? You like him and he then tells you, I have 3 kids, or I was married. What's a deal breaker for you?
Or he is married?
No, he was married.
Oh.
He was married. He was married. What's the deal breaker?
So I guess, like, I wouldn't know after the 3 dates, but a deal breaker for me would be later on in life if we can't get on the same page about, like, how we would raise or, like, go about, like, being in a family or, like, you know, having the foundation.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, they have to be family oriented, because, like, I'm family oriented and I'm nobody, so, like, a lot of our stuff is, like, done with family and hanging out, and then just us by ourselves. I wouldn't see, the problem is with me saying that kids are a deal breaker is I was always that way, but I'm getting older now and everybody is kind of having kids. I saw this meme and it was so funny, and it was like, dang, can y'all save me a baby daddy? Why do y'all have to have 5? Right. Like, that is funny, but, like, I feel like I'm getting to that age where it's like I can no longer say that, because then I probably won't find anybody, 'cause everybody has kids. But no, if you were married before that, then at least I know you like to commit. You know how to commit.
Right. That's good. But
a deal breaker, I don't know, if they're not consistent, or if if we're, like, going into our 3rd date, 4th date, I don't know what the rules are these days, but, like, where I feel like you're not ready to, like, be like, okay, like, this is what we're doing. Like, we're trying to, like, move into a place of being exclusive, and you're just, like, out here, like, no, thank you. Because I'm also exclusive, so, like, I just like to give all my time to one person. If I find one person I like, it's done for everybody. It's just that one person, and that's it.
That's how I was too. That's exactly how I was too. It's like, when you know, right? And then if they're doing what they're supposed to do on their end, then it's like, okay, let's try it out. Let's see how this works. And then on down the line, like you said, if you guys are together and then they, you know, don't want to commit to the family or don't want to commit to the different things that your love languages, I like to call it, then you can say, okay, I don't know if this will work. What, if I can ask, what was the thing that broke up your relationship? You don't have to say any names, that you were in for a long time. What was it that?
Cheating.
Okay.
Cheating.
That's definitely a deal breaker.
Yeah. Disrespect, cheating. Oh, I could go in. I won't. They don't or that energy.
Yes.
But yeah.
Save it for therapy. But cheating, yeah, that's definitely. But you know, it's so funny because now it seems like cheating isn't, it seems like it's okay for some people. Like, I noticed, you know,
Yeah.
it's like,
Me and my just talking about this. Like, some people are okay being cheated on as long as they never find out. And she said, like, you know, that's just not me. Whether I know or not, I don't want to be cheated on. And that, you know, I'm right there with her. Like,
right.
Weird generation, I tell you. Oh, I was born in the wrong generation.
I feel the same way. I'm like, well, I guess, but they're like, okay, it's, you can cheat this many times and then give them this many passes. I'm like, okay. I mean, to each his own, right? I mean, because whatever works for somebody, that works for them. But I noticed now with the social media culture that cheating isn't necessarily a deal breaker. It's like, okay, we can get past this.
Crazy.
Paige is like,
that's.
So Paige, you have to go ahead.
We did get back together, and then he did it. But so then I just learned my lesson, though. Like, it's just like a no. So
I did that too, though. I did that too. You know, before marriage, like when I was just dating, like I did that, like back and forth, back and forth. And then I learned my lesson, like you said. It's like, okay, this not it, because you're not learning, you're not changing. So we're doing the same thing over and over again. So you have a desire to be married, Paige? You want to be married?
Yeah. I used to be like, so like, oh my God, I want to be married. I want to have kids. Then your heart gets broken. And then you're like, I don't want none of that. And so I think I'm finally getting around to wanting that again and having that desire. Still really iffy about children. But I think I'm iffy about children because of the way, again, you see people have kids, they just fall apart. It ends up being this huge thing because they're just not on the same page. And then you're dealing with the baby and you're stressed out, and that's why you have to stay, and your mental health is all jacked. And so that freaks me out. That's all I think about when I think of kids at this moment. But again, you know, when life is, I gotta find the right person, and maybe I'll be like, oh my God, let's have a kid.
But I don't have kids yet either, but I want them one day, but I'm not in like a rush to have them, you know?
Yeah. Because they life, like, ugh. I'm one of 5. I'm the second oldest, so I did a lot of taking care of and like a lot of just all that my whole childhood. So I'm like enjoying the fact that I don't have anybody around to take care of except for my dog.
Yeah, I heard your dog in the background.
Yeah, we got 3 over here. The big ones aren't an issue. The little one, she thinks she's human and she just does whatever she wants, and she can't not be around somebody. So.
Oh Lord, spoil. I want me a doodle like so bad. So that's something that's gonna be my next baby, a doodle. I want a doodle.
Golden doodle?
Or yes. What? A golden doodle? Yeah.
Yes, they're so cute. I want one too.
Girl, what kind do you have?
She's a Morkie.
Okay.
She's really cute.
Can you let us see?
Yeah. Let me see. Bentley. I think I
see. People are saying Paige and Michael. They're putting you guys together.
Come here. Say hi to the people. Come here. Come on.
Do you have an age limit, Paige? Oh my God. Hi, Ben. You're so cute. Hi, Ben. Hi, cutie. Oh, look at the ears. Hey, cutie pie.
She's bad.
Do I have like an age limit, like where you're like, okay, too young, too old?
I feel like you guys work for Michael. Leave me alone.
No, this is what I want to know.
Okay, well, like,
because you look young, right? You're 28, but you look like you could be 21 or even, you know. So I want to know if you have like an age limit.
You know, I can never say that I would never, because that's my biggest fear, is that I'm like, I'll never, and then people pull up things and like, remember when you said that? But like now, like, I just don't think I would date too much younger than me. Like, I could date younger than me, but I don't know how much younger, because again, like, I can barely get guys my age to get it together. What makes me think a 21-year-old is gonna be like, let's get married? Like, no. So I'm not.
High five.
Yeah.
High five.
Like, I'm not even thinking that way, because I'm like, 28-year-olds are still 30-year-olds. You know what I mean? Are still tripping. So I don't even know.
They said age ain't nothing but a number. Paige, you have to go live and talk to these people later.
They're funny.
They are funny. I can imagine what you go through on a regular basis. Because these comments, honey, have been, they ready to get married, put a ring on your finger, take you out to dinner, and they don't care if they married or not. Somebody said, how married?
But the thing is people don't realize no matter what, you will always eventually get bored. And like, it's like getting what you always wanted. Like for me, like I'm into technology, so I always have to have a new computer, iPad, a phone, like or a hard drive, something that I can play with because I love technology. And then you just put it away. You just sit it up. And that's no matter who you're dating, that's going to be what you do with anybody if you can't keep up. So when people are like, oh my God, I'll drink your bath water and I'll do this, I'll do that. I'm like, no, you won't. We'll get together. I'll start challenging you as a human. You'll start challenging me back.
Right.
For tat. And then most likely you're going to get irritated and be like, okay, that's it. I'm out of here. And I'm going to be like, well, toodles.
But not the right one. He's going to stay. Because he's going to want to be challenged and he's going to want you to challenge him.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. But that's why everybody, you know, who's younger, I'm like, it's not as easy as you think it is. Like, I'm still human, so I still have flaws that you'll find out about, and you'll be like, dang, I didn't know Instagram.
They're like, as cute as you are, you have flaws. Like, yes, Negro, I have. Yes. Yes. Oh, my goodness. Okay, so Paige, we have like 50 seconds left.
Okay.
So, what do you want to say before we go?
I want to say thank you for having me. I appreciate it, and it was really fun talking, and I'll do this as often as you want me to.
All the time. We need to make it a weekly day. Let's have Latoya to join us next time.
Oh yeah, that would be so cute. We should.
That would be cute. That would be cute. Okay, let me hang up so I can save this so I can post it later.
All right.
Love you.
Bye.
Okay.